Talk Nation!
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the individual speakers, commentators, guests, experts, and our hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the network broadcaster channel and/or program's policy or the views held by this network broadcaster channel or program. The network broadcaster channel or program cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of FEM Talk. We are so glad that you are here. So let's bring in the beautiful She Talks.
Hello, FEM Talkers.
Hello. And we want to just send some love and some prayers to our beautiful Dr. Mimi Simmons. All right, keep her in prayer, everyone out there. So listen, FEM Talk tonight, we are talking about something really good, really juicy. But I wanted to say, if you can see us backstage sometimes, I think we're going to have to do, some reels for you guys, or even a show of an impromptu show of just kind of what we do behind the scenes before getting ready for FEM Talk. I think that's good. That's a show in and of itself.
The prep is serious, believe me.
Absolutely. But as you all know, like most of you out there, we are living busy lifestyles. Everybody has, just a lot going on, but we love to be here with you to give you some edutainment on Tuesday evenings. So we are here.
You guys have seen the commercials where people come running in, or the reels, they come running in and they throw themselves in their chairs and they almost fall out. Keep that in mind when we come on. Because that's usually what it looks like.
Absolutely. But we love you guys, which is why we do what we do.
Absolutely.
Yes. So tonight is actually going to be kind of impromptu too, though we have subject matter that we want to talk to you about. But we want to make sure that, because we have that beautiful Ask FEM Talk, we want to make sure that if you have a question that's out there that you want to ask us and you want to get some insight on, you want to hear our opinions on the show, definitely send in your questions. It is femtalktv@gmail.com. Make sure that you send those over to us, because we would love to address whatever it is that is happening in your life. And you can see that streaming across the screen right there, femtalktv@gmail.com. Make sure that you email us. All right.
There we go.
Yes. So we're going to get into the topic of tonight. We're not delaying tonight. We're getting into the topic of tonight. So tonight's topic is the 1% mindset. And, I want to start this off by saying, people talk about, the top 1%. And I think a lot of people credit that to, like net worth, right? Or how much a person has financially. But there's so much more to having a 1% mindset. And I started thinking about this not that long ago because I was having a conversation with my son who has this was before the high school graduation, but who was about to graduate high school at the time. And I really was thinking about, just him going forth and doing life, right? And being, the person that he wants to be moving forward. And I was talking to him about, having that 1% mindset. And it's all encompassing, right? So, oh, and our wonderful producer, and I love this book too, Atomic Habits by James Clear. It says small improvements compound, right? And it really is about, and this is what I was mentioning to my son, it really is about, what you choose to do every single day, like those small things that you decide to do on a daily basis
Right.
that allows you to be successful in many avenues of your life, right? So we're going to get into that, but it's the consistency, it's the discipline, it's the intention, right?
Mhm.
That you apply on a daily basis over time that allows you to achieve success in all areas of your life. So
And
what
it
do you
also
think?
encompasses the way you do certain things. It's we're so consumed by getting to the goal, and we're not paying attention to how to
Mhm,
get to the goal. And it
mhm,
doesn't mean eat the whole pie all the
mhm,
time. It
mhm,
means bite by bite,
mhm, mhm,
step by step. I mean, we hear all these additives about, cliches about how to live life and how to do things and how to reflect. And we get sick of them. Let's just be honest. They
mhm,
get on your nerves. But in on a basic level, if you think about what they're saying, they're telling you to take one step at a time.
mhm.
And in a nutshell, in layman's terms, that's what 1% is.
Yeah.
But it's a complete, what we're talking about tonight is a complete mindset.
Yeah.
How to think that way, how to move that way, how to live that way.
Yeah, there's another book out that I want people to keep in mind as they move forward and they're thinking about what we just said and having the 1% mindset. But it's also about, like you said, right? And we've been talking about the things that you do on a daily basis. The book is called The Practicing Mind.
Mhm.
Great, great book. And it's by Thomas M. Sterner. And he talks about loving the journey along the way and appreciating the journey, the daily journey that you take as you move to, like you were talking about, that end goal. He, in this book he talks about it's not about the end goal, it's about the journey and loving every step of the journey. So
Mhm.
wonderful book. If you are thinking about how you can, change your life and, build in that consistency and that discipline, this is a great book to help you get there. And it really does take your mindset off of I have to reach the goal versus I need to take these steps every single day and love them, right? Appreciate them,
Right. Right.
before getting to the goal. Just appreciate what I'm doing on a
Absolutely.
regular basis. Yeah. So, what else is it that you think? Like, what do you think encompasses the 1% mindset?
For me, I think I'm a person who thinks more about the journey in that way. Once you learn what, like you said, what the goal is or what you want to do, what you want to have, what you want to see, how you want
Mhm,
to live, um, it sounds almost lazy to say, I'll get there. This
mhm,
is what I want to do and I'll get there. So when
mhm,
people who are trying to grow you or help you improve ask you how, and you really don't have the words, you
mhm,
really don't know, I have to fall on the side of taking the one bite by bite by bite,
mhm,
living your life for the moments. For me, it's like the cookie crumbs or the breadcrumbs. I want to be able to remember every step of the way getting to the place where I want to be.
yeah, yeah,
So I think I focus more. I keep the 1% here, but I focus on how. how I got here and how far. You know, a lot of people will tell you don't look back. I'm not saying that you should look back, and I'm also not saying that you shouldn't look back. What I'm saying is sometimes you gotta just remember so that you can start a new memory.
Mm-hmm.
That probably sounds a little crazy, but
Mm-hmm.
that's really what that is. Oh, I remember this didn't go so well. I failed at this one thing. I created this whatever program or this idea, and it didn't fall through.
Mm-hmm.
But then it comes to fruition in another way. I need to remember that so it'll push me to keep going further.
Yeah. And the look back is always good, right? And it's not to look back, it's not to
Stay. Yeah.
stay there. It's to look back and appreciate, what have I learned in those
Absolutely.
moments where, I've had some failure or some challenges, right? Or what I did well, right? And what I need to continue. The look back is always good. It just, you're not supposed to live for the look back. You're supposed to
Absolutely.
appreciate what you've already gone through in
Mhm.
order to be able to move forward and in good or bad, right? Whatever that was that you're looking back at, either you change it, right? Or you continue what you've
Right.
done that made sense and that was good for you. So the look
Right.
back
It's
is always
important.
good. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But one of the things that I think about when I think about a 1% mindset is
Mhm.
being focused on growth, right? What actually helps you build your knowledge, right? Your health, right? It's in what areas are you looking to grow, right? And being focused on that, learning
Yeah.
more, right? Um, in different areas of your life. So, talk to me about what you think about that.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
for me, you know me, I want to know everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an avid learner. If I have to speak about my life and what I have accomplished, I'm an avid learner. I
Mm-hmm.
always want to know. Um, and sometimes I always want to do. I want to try everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the part about learning more helps you to understand if that is exactly what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you with the decisions. And sometimes you find out that I just needed the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
or you find out that there's something key there or something that you can improve.
Mm-hmm.
It ignites something in you that you can adapt or you can grow from that learning. You know,
Yeah.
just like research or anything else we do, you may make it better,
Yeah.
you know. Um, so I guess that education is always going to be. And please understand when I say education, I'm not necessarily mean matriculation. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be in the seat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's learning all around you.
Right, right. And I think about when you talk about learning, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it even makes you change your trajectory,
Absolutely.
right? You may have to make some changes. But I do believe in what the Bible says. And yep, I'm going to take it a little bit to scripture when it talks about seek, right? And you shall find. Well, if you're
Absolutely.
not out there learning, if you're not looking to gain more wisdom and knowledge in whatever area of your life, because it's about everything. If you're
Oh,
focused on your health and you want to work out, you need to learn more about it. If you are focused on your career, right, and an industry that you want to be in, you need to learn more about it, right?
mhm,
If you want to build your finances and start investing, you need to learn more about it. So
mhm,
that's what the 1% mindset is really all about. It's about that
mhm.
growth. It's about continuously learning. And that should never die, right? Like that, you should never stop. That should go until you leave this beautiful earth, right? You should want to continue to learn more and more. And like Shima said, it's not about the system, it's not about matriculation when it comes to education, because there's so many different ways to get forms of education, especially these days, right? There's so many tools and resources out there for you, but stay
Absolutely.
in that constant state of learning.
Mhm. Be the sponge.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
there's another. Be the sponge.
Hmm.
One of the things that that keeps popping in my head as we're talking about it is the way, or the path or what you've chosen. It, like we said, it doesn't have to be in an institution.
Mm-hmm.
You can learn by talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
You're learning how to have relations because you're talking to people and learning how they interact
Mm-hmm.
and how they work with each other. You're learning how to be sympathetic to others by the way that they want to be spoken to or
Mm-hmm.
coached. I just think about different aspects of all the jobs that I've had when I wanted to branch into something else.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to talk to those people who were doing it and what it would take for me to be in that position or to learn more about that particular area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like I said, the things that keep going through my mind are the ways how you get education.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's so many opportunities out there.
And when you think about that, I always think about too, like being open for one, right, and staying curious is how
Absolutely.
you stay educated also, right? It's not just the things that you seek. You heard Shima talking about, your interactions with people. I can tell you this, my son is 18 years old. I learn from him all the time because he's constantly researching, and when we start to have conversations around different subject matter, I'm learning from him too. But you have to be open to
Yeah,
that. Age doesn't matter. There's always something to learn from someone out there, right? So always be open and always be curious and stay in that constant state of learning, right?
exactly. Our producer said putting yourself in a place to be a forever student. And
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes. And we just want to give a shout out to the wonderful people that are on here with us, Mr.
I
Greg
love
Artist and Mr. Emilio Roman. Thank you for joining us on the show. Today we are talking about the 1% mindset, and just continually staying in that growth mode, to learn and just to progress in your life. So there's another thing that I wanted to bring up around the 1% mindset,
Yeah.
and that is taking ownership. Yeah. Yeah. I think it takes a 1% mindset to take ownership over your life, right?
Yeah.
Your mistakes, your triumphs, all of it. It's taking ownership. It's being responsible for your life. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier too. When you talk about it's the little things that you do every single day that are going to make the difference, that are going to allow you to get to the ultimate goal, even though the goals don't stop, right? There really is no ultimate goal because you just continue to have more and more. Once you reach one, then you have another one and another one and another one.
Absolutely.
But it's learning how to take ownership of yourself, right? So on those days when you're feeling like, I don't want to get up and work out, or I don't want to get up and work, or I don't want to check my investments today, right? Like it's taking ownership. It's saying, even though I'm not in the mood for this, and I'm not saying don't rest when you need to rest, but sometimes when you're just not in the mood, you need to continue, right? You need to take
Right.
responsibility
Right.
for yourself and continue. So talk to me about what ownership means to you.
Well, I take that particular statement both ways as well. Some days you need to push through, and
Mm-hmm.
some days you need to listen.
Mm-hmm.
It may be today that you don't feel like working or you don't feel like checking investments or checking in, period.
Mm-hmm.
But there needs to be part of that ownership needs to be, well, if you don't do it today, you're not going to continue this same pattern
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow. I liken it to when you are trying to lose weight or trying to eat better or eat healthier,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a day where you eat half a bag of chips or something that is not
Are you
allowable.
telling us what you like?
Oh, you know how I do. That's my comfort zone right there. So when you realize that, okay, I fell off, that 1% mindset is I don't continue to eat these chips.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is not a cheat day.
Yeah.
Even if I don't want to, if I want to encourage myself, today's not a cheat day.
Mm-hmm.
Today is a day that I ate something outside of my norm. So what am I going to do tomorrow? Go back to my norm.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's those little increments that I need to continue with.
And it's even just to go back to that for one
Mhm.
second. It's even how you choose to speak to yourself in
Abs-
those moments where you need to take responsibility,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes you just need to say, and I'm just going to use your example. Okay, I had a treat, and now,
Right.
okay, I'm going to use my brand. Yep, here we go. I had a treat. Now it's time for me to
Now it's
reset.
time to reset.
Right now it's time for me to reset. Shameless plug
Yeah,
in there, but
that's okay.
that's really what it's all about. That's the whole mantra behind it, right?
Absolutely.
Like, okay, I treated myself. I had a moment, and now it's
Hmm.
time to reset. And you can do
Yeah.
that constantly, right?
Yeah.
But when you think about taking ownership too, it's about taking a look inward also, right?
Okay.
When there's challenges, when you do something wrong, or even when you do something well, it's still
Right.
about taking a look inward to take
Mhm.
responsibility to see, okay, what did I do well and how can I either continue that or improve upon it? Or what did I do wrong and why? What put me in this position? What about myself though, right?
Mhm.
Put me in this
Absolutely.
position, right?
Absolutely.
So taking responsibility is also taking a look inward.
That's exactly where I was going
Mm-hmm.
next. It was more so paying attention to when it's brought to your attention. I'll say I'm always, y'all know me. I'm always going to use myself as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was recently awakened by
Mm-hmm.
some information,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of reacting quickly, trying to change or correct, I wanted to see my own behavior.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that means I'm taking a bird's eye look. I am listening to myself speak
Yeah.
and remembering what I heard and what, you know, my reactions were, or all of those great things. I'm be honest, when I was in customer service for so many years, I was over the phone and I would use a mirror
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to make sure that what I'm saying is being said correctly, but I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to also see my own reaction, because if I didn't want to deliver it with a negative tone, I needed
Mm-hmm.
to make sure I wasn't delivering the negative tone physically.
Mm. You sure you just didn't like looking at yourself?
Oh, I'd like that too. Let's be honest, my bestie knows me. I love that too. I wanted to make sure my lipstick was good, my eyelashes were good, stuff. But I wanted to make sure that when I needed to change my tone or deliver some different information, or even like you said, be accountable for something I may have done or said,
Yeah.
that I was being honest and I was recognizing what it looks like.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I want to know what it looks like for me to be in a space where I don't want to be, or in a space where I do want to be, so I
Mm-hmm.
can mimic it, so I
Yeah.
can recreate it, or keep it going.
Yeah.
So that holds you accountable for your actions, your
Yeah.
interactions. Um,
And
yeah.
I love that you use the mirror. Like I love that whole analogy. Um, but the fact that you actually did it, I love that because that really is taking a look inward. And if you could look at yourself in the mirror while you're doing something, whatever that is, right? You used your job in this case, but if you can look at your mirror while you're doing something, that's a real look inward. That is a real, right? Because now you're forced to really take a look at yourself.
Right.
You're facing yourself in
Uh-huh.
the mirror as you are interacting. It's
I'm
also
gonna
a good
challenge you.
way.
Oh,
Well, I was gonna say it's also a good it's also a good way in those cases where, especially in the former position that you were talking about, right? In customer service, it's also a good way not to lose yourself when
I was
somebody
saying it in a nice way. Yes, I was. That's exactly what that was. 'Cause then when you start looking like this with your eyebrows raised,
yeah,
all
absolutely.
kind of things may come out of your mouth. So you need to be prepared. When you see it, you're like, "Oh, am I getting? Oh, I'm taking it there. Okay, let me pull back a little
Let me
bit."
pull back. Yeah,
Right.
the ugly truth about
Yo, I was
what
gonna
comes
say, I'm
out
gonna challenge
sometimes.
you, FEM Talker. Would you say?
I said the ugly truth about what comes out sometimes.
Right. And especially when you're looking in that mirror, you're like, "Oh, is that me?
Right,
That's not
absolutely.
pretty." But I'm gonna challenge you, FEM Talker, since we're on this specific topic right here. Get you a mirror. The reset coach would love this part. Get you a mirror if you're a person that, if you're eating by yourself, put the mirror in front of you while you eat. Now
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it on the etiquette level. See how that looks when you eat by yourself.
when you're
I
eating
don't think
popcorn.
anybody likes that. And now you know I got to
Sidebar,
tell
when
you.
you're eating popcorn.
I was gonna say, I was like, I'm getting ready to tell on us because we have decided. I don't want to say decided. We have vowed that we are not good popcorn eaters.
Oh,
It's
Lord.
okay. My name is Shima. I gorge popcorn. Her name is
Yay,
Tracy.
Shima.
Yeah. So I'm gonna promise you, FEM talkers, I'm not gonna sit in front of the mirror and watch that. I know what that looks like.
Mhm.
No, that's not the 1% mindset. That's more like 95%.
Oh, that is hilarious. I'm gonna do that one day because I really do. I recognize it already just without the mirror, right? Popcorn's anonymous. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely, Nick. I recognize it without the mirror, but I want to see it one day, and I may even record it
Ooh.
because
Oh,
it's
wow. That is accountability.
that
That
is
is
kind of
good
cool.
accountability. I'm not gonna join you. I'm not. No.
You should. We should compare.
No, that is not gonna be pretty.
So
Wow.
one of the other things I wanted to bring up about the 1% mindset is having high standards. Yeah. And as I get more, it's more and more and more. Yep, because you guys know we are spiritual here. As I get more and more into the Bible, um, man, it challenges me when it comes to those high standards. And you know, in action, I could say I'm good. Sometimes in reaction, or just the level of thinking sometimes, right? You have to challenge yourself. Like, am I operating at the highest standard, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just about what you do, it's also about what you think, right?
Yeah.
And that's the most challenging one. So I'm gonna be transparent, put myself out there. Sometimes my thoughts, it's not that good. I'm like Steve Harvey sometimes. God is still working on me.
Yes.
But when it comes to the 1% mindset, making sure that you're operating with the highest of standards in what you do, but also in what you think. Yeah, absolutely. And make those standards clear, right? And make them non-negotiable. Once you decide what they are for you, make them non-negotiable. And don't let anybody get you off of your level of standard, right? Because sometimes it's, being reactive to something that somebody else is doing. And then it takes you off of your standards. Make your high standards non-negotiable and very clear for yourself.
And be unapologetic for
Mm-hmm.
them because it's yours. It's you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. The Bible, teaches us
Mm-hmm.
what we should accept and what we shouldn't, how we should behave and how we shouldn't. Um, we create a mindset that tells us this is what I want and this is how I'm going to go to get it and what I'm going to accept and what I'm not. And then there's so many societal things that happen that'll help you to change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you when you say make it plain.
Yeah.
Stick to it. It's easy to get off that course. It's easy to ditch the goal. I keep saying goal because it could be anything.
Yeah.
So it's easy to ditch the goal while you're waiting for the goal to appear.
Yeah.
And it's the 1% mindset that helps you not to ditch the goal. Because when you think collectively or when you think whole, like I want this whole thing, I want it right now, you tend to skip steps.
Yeah.
You tend to drop some of the standards, some of the boundaries, and you'll accept and do things that probably won't get you where you need to be.
Yeah.
Turns into a detour. Am I speaking to myself?
Well, and you know what I want, what was coming up for me too? When you're creating standards, right? Don't allow the standards to get self-righteous, right? Where you start to lose your empathy and your compassion and your heart, right? Because that's not what that's about. Operating with high levels of standards. And I feel like when you have those things incorporated, then that's the highest level, right? When you can have heart and compassion for other people and empathy, and you can operate in that way as you are continuing to move and progress in your life towards, and we're going to say that goal, we put the quotes up, that goal. But as you continue to do that, in my opinion, right, high level of standards is also making sure that they're not so high that they're self-righteous,
Right.
that you don't lose those other components that make you, a good and decent person, right?
Say that again. You don't want to forget that part.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
But you mentioned another word. You talked about boundaries. You said boundaries. Because I think that's part of a 1% mindset too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because it helps. I keep seeing the vision I keep getting when we're talking more and more about this mindset is a path. It's a road. So now that we're talking about boundaries, I'm seeing guardrails. I'm seeing, things on the side of my path. Excuse me, guys. Things on the side of my path that are keeping me on my path. And that are, guiding me so that I don't veer off. But you know what happens? You get to those ramps, those overpasses, those little the rest stops. You get all those rest stops, and then you change your mind a little bit. You sometimes you change your thinking. And though we're talking about growing, those things are not detrimental, but you don't want to let them deter you, or like you said, change your level of standard or change what the boundary means to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did I say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
And yeah, now shout out to Benny Steak out there. um, but also, yeah, so my thought process there too is being able to protect your peace in that, right? And have those boundaries to protect yourself, to be able to push forward, right? Because sometimes you just need peace in order to operate from that 1% place. You need to be at a place of peace. So boundaries are key. And then and then those boundaries don't take you away from what we were just talking about, and talking about those high standards either.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
I know another portion of that 1% mindset, and I think we talked about a little bit earlier, the consistency.
That's the
We
one
talk
of the
about
biggest.
health. We're talking about just working out, eating right, relationships. It is so easy to be inconsistent. I have to say, just taking vitamins. I'm right now. I'm having. We talked about us having some issues throughout our FEM Talk family. I'm having some health issues at the moment, and I'm realizing that I'm not doing consistently the things that I should be doing to ward off some of the things that I'm seeing, which can lead to other things, which takes me off the goal, right?
Yeah.
Away from the goal and negates my boundaries. It's all tied. Are you guys seeing that? It's all tied.
Yeah, all things working together for your good right there. But when you talk about that too, like when you look up the 1% mindset, right? The three words that come up is discipline, consistency, and intentionality. Right? Those are the three that you see constantly. If you're just looking this up, you can Google it, you can chat GPT it, you can whatever other engines out there that you're using, right? But those three words constantly come up when you think about having the 1% mindset. So I want us to take a commercial break, but I want to challenge you to think about during the commercial break, and I will do the same. What is it that you want to do, right? And see, time frame is July, so it doesn't matter. It's mid-year. You can start right now, because my motto is every day is an opportunity for you to reset. So you can start today, but I want to challenge you to think about what is it that you want to start to do today tonight or tomorrow that takes you closer to that 1% mindset and being consistent. Hello, everyone, and we are back, and we are talking about the 1% mindset. So let's bring Shima Shishi back in the room. Hello. So before the break, hello, Denise. Before the break, I challenge you to think about, what is it that you want to implement, exercise in your life that puts you more towards that 1% mindset, being consistent and disciplined and intentional.
I guess I'll have to say the thing that I preach the most lately to my 84-year-old mother, and to myself with this new job that I'm doing. I need to write it out and make it plain. Because a lot of why I am not consistent is because out of sight, out of mind happens. And I'm realizing that because I question myself. Well, why have you not done this? Or why have you not seen the fruits from this? It's because, oh, there it is. Oh, I should have been taking that. Oh, I should have been doing that. It's because once I don't see it, it's not an everyday thing, an everyday occurrence. Yeah. I don't pay it any attention until I run up on it again.
Yeah.
So, and that encompasses what? Discipline and consistency.
Yeah, and earlier Nick mentioned the book Atomic Habits, right? And that's what that book talks about, just creating those habits that are going to allow you to do exactly what you're talking about, staying consistent, right? Absolutely. It's when I make a plan to do something, I got to do it. Yep, I can't keep putting things off and procrastinating. Stop the I'll try tomorrow and do it today. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm gonna make a confession, right? Because as you know, I'm getting up in age a little bit, and my body is changing, right? I feel like I've been doing lazy workouts, right? They have been lazy. So I said, okay, Tracy, enough is enough. Stop. Get back to what you know that you know how to do when it comes to workout and what you love. And stop allowing your body to take over for you, right? And doing the lazy workouts. So on Monday, I got up and with it, because I said the way for me to stay disciplined is to stay in the word, right? More rigorously and to work out. Those are my things, like those two things. So I got up Monday. I was like, all right, I had my Bible verses outlined that I wanted to read. I started writing things with that. I always pray, but prayer was in that. And then working out. And this morning, day 2, right? Because I started it Monday, the rigorous rigorous way of doing this. At day 2, I was like, I don't feel like doing this, right? I got up and made it happen. I was like, I am not going to allow myself to falter, right? And there's a saying that I've been saying, from the time that I had cancer until now, is like, I'm not going to squander what God has given me. And that's in all aspects of my life. That wasn't just about my physical health. That's really for everything. So, getting up and doing my best and being my best, even when I don't feel like it, because we talked about that earlier, is what I had to get back to and stop doing the lazy working out. the lazy way of doing things. So yeah, I just wanted to be transparent and confess that, because sometimes you will get into those modes, and it's not just like physically my body feels different, right? Because
Right. Right.
going through some things physically,
Mm-hmm.
um, just with time, right? But I'm going to say this to everybody out there, right? No excuses. There are no
Yeah.
excuses, because it's the habits that we choose to form, right, that allow us to stay in those states. And age is just a number in that, right? And I know this very well. So I was like, nope, no more, no more will I
Mm-hmm.
allow that stinking thinking to put me in a place where I'm not doing what I know I want to do, and what I love to do, and what I need to
To
do.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I find myself. You are an witness to this. I've always talked myself into or out of stuff. Let's
Mhm,
just be honest.
mhm,
But now I find that I say it to myself in front of others.
mhm.
And it would not intentionally, but it just started to happen. And what I'm finding is when it's said and somebody else acknowledges it, it kind of puts me on the hook to make sure that I'm doing what I'm saying.
Yeah. Ooh,
It
yeah.
does put, because I mean, I know we're always going to talk about embarrassment, or we're more accountable to others than we are to ourselves.
Mhm,
The self-talk that I have sometimes could be a little harsh. I know when I'm in here and I don't feel like doing things like laundry, or
mhm,
even doing the laundry but not folding it ever.
mhm.
We had that conversation the other day.
Okay,
Now,
I gotta just put this out there. Fold your laundry after you take it out of the dryer and put it away. It's the easiest way to get rid of the clothes. Okay,
don't
sorry,
believe her.
I had to say that
It
because it
really
bothers
isn't.
me. I can't
It's the
see that
worst
layer
ever. Don't believe her. And you give yourself some self-talk, because you're gonna have to work through that.
Just do it.
But
Just
I
do
find myself right. I'm with you, Nick. Why doesn't it fold itself?
it. That would be nice.
Right.
You
Well,
need people. You need
right.
people.
So some of the things that I'll say to myself is, "Okay, Shima, you not. Mm-mm. Oh, you going? Are you going away this weekend? You're not going if you're going with that. If that laundry's still on the bed, you're not gonna do that. That's the way. It's fun.
Mhm.
It may sound a little crazy, but
Yeah.
when I say it in front of other people, it's like, because then it kind of opens the door for the
Mhm.
accountability. Because
Mhm.
then somebody like Tracy would say, "Did you fold your clothes yet?
Mhm.
Did I ask you to tell me about folding my
And
clothes?"
my saying is, what you gonna do about it? When
Right,
you start to talk
right,
about things that you want to do, well, what you gonna do
right.
about
Oh, when we get home, I'm gonna have clothes to fold. What you gonna do about it?
it? Right. When you gonna do it?
Right. So sometimes, I mean, that, and we're only talking about those things that we do that help us. You have to develop something that'll help you stay on
Yeah.
that 1% path,
Yeah.
on that mindset, to be mindful of what you do, what you
Yeah.
want, and how to get there.
Yeah. And this leads me to another point. So my little cousin Dusty had a gym, and in that gym, in the cardio room, it said, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? And this is another way to keep the 1% mindset. You're going
Yeah.
to have to recognize that everything is not going to be comfortable. As a matter of fact, if it is, it's probably not doing you any justice, right?
Mhm.
So, and this is again, every facet of what you are trying to do in your health, in your finances, in your career, right? In your relationships. Like, get comfortable with being
Mhm.
uncomfortable, because
Right.
that's what takes you to the next level. And there's always going to be a level of discomfort as you continue to move forward. Unless you are a person that just wants to stay stagnant and sit still and do absolutely nothing, you are going to, unless that's where you're sitting, right? And even that is hard to stay in, right?
Right.
Because something in life is going to challenge you to move differently
Mhm.
at some point.
Absolutely.
But you are always going to face something that's going to have you uncomfortable,
Yeah.
right? So get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yes, I'm with you. You know what I want to run to that last attribute
Mhm.
of the 1% that we haven't, it's encompassed in the two others, but that intentional piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think it resonates with me, and I'm not speaking for you, but I kind of think we're similar in this mindset. It resonates with us because of how we have improved our lives and our thinking and how we worked. But I'm gonna let you
Listen,
run
our
with
mentor wrote a book about it, Intentional Me, right? Wrote a book about it. So listen, if you want to be intentional in your life, there's a book out there called Intentional Me by Dr. Deirdre Anderson. You can get that, on Amazon, but it's just another way for you to start to take accountability for yourself and outline your intentions and then get to it, right? Do it today, as Nick said. get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the, we always talk about that process and getting to know ourselves, and part of being intentional. And one of the exercises that we always talk about that we've done is writing letters to all the people that matter to us. And in those letters, we're asking them to rate how we show up for them. Another level of accountability, guys. I know it's so much. It's all intertwined. But it is so eye-opening. It is so eye-opening, and it will bring you to a point of knowing yourself and those who you love. I mean, you decide who you give those letters to, but where you don't make it so easy because you want it to be real. You don't make it so easy that you give it to all the people that love you.
Yeah.
You give it to everyone who you interact with, and you want to be intentionally in relation with.
But I'm going to challenge you there too a little bit. All the people that love you, yes, because the people that love you are the ones that are hardest on you, right? And will be more honest and open, right? It's going to be hard to go to, maybe some people on your job may be able to be honest with you, some may not, right?
Some may not,
but when
right.
it comes to like your parents, your children, your siblings, your best friends, your really good friends, right? People that you know that are going to be honest with you and have no problems with being honest, that's where you want to go, because you want people to tell you. I remember when we did that exercise and I gave it to my son, and I can't remember exactly how old he was at the time, but younger, right? He's 18 now. So it was a few years ago, but it was so honest and so raw, and I was so grateful for him to be able to do that at his age, right? To speak truth, because that's what you want. You want everybody to speak truth over you. In order for you to have a 1% mindset, the Bible talks about truth all the time. That's what you want. You want truth. You want truth in order for you to be able to get to that next level, whatever that is. So I love that you mentioned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I guess we glaze over that one because it's always here.
Yeah. You know what else too?
Mm-hmm.
I would challenge, and I was just thinking about this right now, and didn't do that at the time that we did the exercise, but I would challenge you to have the people in your life write the letters, but then I would challenge you to read those letters and then write a letter to yourself. And one where you can be open and honest to yourself about your intentions and be raw and real with yourself about where you are, and if you're exercising and operating in a manner that you want to operate in. I would say but after you read everybody else's,
right.
to know like, okay, where does everybody see me? Where do I feel like I fit into this? What can I be honest with myself about after reading what they've had to say? And now let me write a letter to myself to take accountability for myself. Yeah.
And really compare them, because you're going to have people who are already, like we talked about, self-talk. Your self-talk may already be too harsh for you. Nobody tells you that, because nobody knows how you speak to yourself unless you have to say it.
Yeah.
Unless someone asks you
when
you're alone and you're by yourself, what are the things that you say to yourself? So nobody knows how harsh you can be, and we all can be, because we most likely, in most cases, are our hardest critics.
Yeah.
So give yourself some grace. Read it and take it in, but give yourself some grace. And try to compare it to what you've heard,
Yeah.
or what you've read in the other letters. So you really know where you stand. Now, if you wrote your letter and everything in your letter is saying how horrible you are, but you wrote 10 letters, and out of the 10 letters, 7 people are telling you how gracious you are, how supportive you are, how you see them. Anything of that nature. Please, if you have not written that in your own letter, you take that as yours. That's a tool for yourself.
Yeah. And we talked about, having compassion and empathy, right? And operating from a place of love. You got to do that for yourself as well. And it's a balance, right? Because, I always say this too, don't tip the scales too much where you're giving yourself so much grace that is now excuses versus grace, right?
So good.
Exactly. Exactly. But even, to the where you're making excuses about why you quote unquote can't do something, right? So, give yourself grace, be compassionate,
Absolutely.
but also be real with yourself and not make excuses as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very easy to fall on either side of that scale.
Yeah.
I'm so wonderful. I do everything right.
No.
Do you? Do we? I'm always gonna say we. Y'all know I'm gonna throw myself in there, because when I tell you he not done with this vessel.
Absolutely. So when I think about it, I just want to kind of reiterate some of the tools too that we've given people that you can go out there and read, because we talked about stretching yourself and continuing to learn. I'm always going to put the Bible first, because it's what we do here. Read this good book. There's and I'm going to find it as I continue to talk here. But there's a scripture. And I want to, oh my goodness, I wish I had this ready for y'all, but there's a scripture and I'm going to find it in a second. But while I'm looking for that, we also mentioned some good books. One was Atomic Habits by James Clear. The other one was The Practicing Mind. The Practicing Mind by Thomas Sterner, I think that was, or Steiner. Oh, goodness gracious. Thomas Sterner, yes, The Practicing Mind, and then also Intentional Me by Dr. Deirdre Anderson. So, go out, get some of those books. If you're, knowing that you want to exercise the 1% mindset and you want to just level up your life from a place of, like we mentioned, consistency and discipline and intentionality, get the tools that you need. And some of these books will help you do that on a daily basis. But I don't know, Shima, if you had something else that you wanted to say while I'm looking for this.
I was looking at the book. I don't know. We got excited about our own conversation and started closing stuff down.
Yes.
I was just Googling, or searching, the 1% mindset and the many, many books out there that are on that topic. Even if you don't do a deep dive, I would say just do a search. That's part of your education. See if there's something that it stands out to you in whatever area of your life where you think, I can use some more focus. I can use some more intention or some more direction. And how can I maintain a 1% mindset while doing so? Right. You have so many other things going on in this world. You're raising children, you're going to school, some of you are working, we're just living and trying to live. Doesn't mean we can't be better, love more, do more, learn more. We have the opportunity to do all of these things. Just put it in your mind, make it a part of your mind.
Yeah.
Something that is always going to remind you to be those things or to find them, search them, helping you get to your goals. There's that word again.
Yeah, goals, right. I want to go back to this scripture, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because of what this book actually is, right? But there's a scripture in here which I did not know until I actually watched the sermon that was challenging us on going to the Bible, right? And it says all scripture is God breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. So there you have it. Everything that you need is in here as well. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go out and look at the other tools, but incorporate this into your life every day. That's all. That's all, folks. That's all I got for y'all. Love y'all. We love you. We love you. We love you. And we thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you next week right here on FEM Talk Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, everyone.